I have no regrets. If I did, I would be disrespecting my past self. This is something that a person I know told me about 3 years ago. And at the time, I thought the person was crazy. I thought they made no sense. But I didn't ask any further questions because, I respected their opinion, what they were saying, and I thought it was valid for them. But now, 3 years later, I've come to realize after experiencing certain things myself that they were right. This whole time, they were right. So, obviously, as we get older, we learn things, we change, we evolve, our opinions change, our behaviors, our thoughts, our mindset, and things that we used to do, we don't do anymore because they just don't make sense for us anymore, depending on our age and where we are mentally right now. But it's still normal to look back and regret some things, right? Everybody has regrets. However, I believe that there are two different types of regrets. There is that type that you know you've done something wrong that caused a lot of harm for you or for other people or both, and you learned from it. You've grown from it and you know that you shouldn't do it anymore. It was a lesson. So you regret because you admit that it was a mistake. Now, the other type of regrets are the ones that you've done something and you look back and you wish you hadn't done it, not because it was wrong, but because it could have been better, you know? For example, you look back to when you were in school, in high school, and you were not the best student. Your grades were low, you didn't care about the teachers paying attention to the classes, you were a troublemaker, something like that. And you regret that because even though you didn't cause any harm to anyone, you could have had better grades and maybe now you would have better opportunities. So you wish you could, go back in time and change it, but you can't. That's the type of regret that he was talking about disrespecting your past self. Because we need to remember that back then, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, depending on how old you are, this applies to everybody, by the way. At that time, you didn't have the maturity you have now. So, how are you expecting for your past self to know what you know now and to behave the way you would behave now in that scenario? It's just not possible. So, the school example that I gave you, at that time, you couldn't see how important studies were, so you didn't care. Now you know because you're in a different context where your grades matter, your performance matters. So you take it seriously because you have the maturity to understand your responsibilities. But at that time, you didn't. So you're disrespecting yourself because you're expecting your past self to know what you know now. And that's not how life works. I think you guys know this phrase I'm going to say now. We need to strive to be better than we were yesterday and worse than we will be tomorrow. This is so true, and this is how I've been living my life for the past few months because I don't want to be what I was or who I was yesterday. I have to grow. But at the same time, I need to understand that I also have to be better tomorrow. No matter how much I'm growing today, I still need to continue growing tomorrow too. With this mentality, think about it. Whatever mistake you've done in the past, yes, if it caused harm, you should understand that it was wrong and you shouldn't do it again. But if it was just something that was due to lack of maturity, lack of responsibility, lack of understanding, know that that was who you were back then and you're not that person anymore. And that's a victory. You should be celebrating that. If you can look back and understand what you did and not do it anymore, that's the whole point of life. You're growing, you're learning, you're evolving, and you're not repeating the same patterns. So I wouldn't call it a regret, I would call it just growth, just maturity, just becoming an adult, really. So now when I look back and I see who I used to be, for example, I've always considered myself to be a very shy, introverted person. I'm still that way, but now I'm able to talk and communicate and do what I have to do without feeling uncomfortable. Even though I might not want to do it, I still do it because I understand that it's important for whatever context I'm in at that moment. But back then, no matter what I had to do, I always felt uncomfortable. I couldn't understand why that was necessary, why that was important. I just wanted to be in my comfort zone. The fact that I can look back and see how much I've grown from that is so, so special, so meaningful. I don't see it as a regret, like, oh, I was so stupid back then. That is the disrespectful part. Thinking you were stupid, thinking you were immature, thinking you were, yes, you were those things, but be thankful that you're not anymore. Because some people, trust me, some people don't grow out of these phases. They don't. It's pretty concerning. But if you've done it, then be thankful, be grateful, and celebrate. Don't disrespect your past self by calling yourself stupid or dumb or immature, even if you were those things, because that was what you were capable of doing and being at that time, considering your age and the context you were inserted in at that time. You were going through other things. Maybe you were being bullied. For example, I was being bullied when I was in school. I'm not being bullied anymore nowadays. Well, not necessarily, I guess. But it's a different context. So, how was I expecting my 12-year-old self who was being bullied, who was being made fun of, to be super, have self control and be super responsible in that scenario? Impossible. So, I did the best I could at that time. I held my what is it? The expression? Like try to hold both ends, try to connect both ends. I forgot the expression. English is not my first language. I apologize, but you know what I mean. Like you're trying to connect the dots. You're trying to make things work and make ends meet. There we go. I was trying to make ends meet, and that was the best I could do at that time. Now I can do much better. But if I had little Rebecca here beside me right now, I wouldn't tell her, you're being mature, you're being stupid, you're being this, you're being that, do better. I would never. We don't tell that to little kids. Why would we say that about ourselves? So respect your past self. Your past self is who brought you to where you are today. It doesn't matter if you got hurt, if you've made mistakes, you did the best you could. Be thankful for who you were and for who you've become. And try to teach that to others as well. If you have children, try to tell them this. It's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Nothing is the end of the world at all. Try to teach this to every kid you meet, even if you don't have kids yourself or you don't want kids in the future. Try to teach them, like if you see them doing something, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. It can even be traumatizing if you're always putting yourself in that box of mistakes, regret, I've done something wrong. That's life. We're learning, we're growing, we're all in this together. It's normal. It's completely normal. So I want to wrap this up here because I don't want to make this too long, but this is the message that I wanted to send. Respect your past self and be thankful for who you've become and for how far you've come. And don't really regret things. Learn from them. It's part of life. And keep growing, keep evolving. This is not the end. Until you die, you will have something to learn, something to grow from. Be open for this, and I'm sure you will become even prouder of who you are each day as you grow. You will look back and be like, wow, I'm better than I was yesterday. I'm better than I was last week. And even if you failed today and you are worse than you were yesterday, it's also part of life. You're still giving the best you can. That's all that matters. So this was Becca. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.